Of course, it could be argued that if it exists at a bracket above where most folks are making money, then it's not a very healthy housing market. I get that argument. I even agree with it. The good news is... How's it go, guys? I'm Christopher. I'm the owner of Halcyon Real Estate, affiliated with the Keller Williams Market Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. Today is the 20th of October, 2025. This is the Numbers and Nuance, where you come weekly in order to know exactly what Utah's housing market is looking like. So just like every week, I'll give you the story of what our market is doing and the data to back it up. Let's jump right into it. So the story of our current housing market, as I said last week, is that our housing market functions normally right now, just exists at a bracket kind of above where most folks are making money. Of course, it could be argued that if it exists at a bracket above where most folks are making money, then it's not a very healthy housing market. I get that argument. I even agree with it. The good news is that the market isn't running away from us in terms of housing prices like it did in 2019 through 2021, first half of 2022. Home prices in Utah look to have stagnated through the majority of this year. Right now, they are on the slow, moderate climb up that would be what we expect of a healthy housing market. But when it comes to the equilibrium of a market's supply and demand, right now, Utah's housing market is still leaning toward building the supply while the demand remains subdued, precisely because of those high home prices and higher interest rates paired with them. So what we're looking at with interest as we head into winter and look at next year is how quickly interest rates continue their trend down, how well we do keeping the supply up, and what the effect of home prices will be between those two factors as we head into next year. Let's look at the numbers. Okay, here's where things are in the Utah housing market as of the 20th of October, 2025. Our current inventory stands at 13,615. That's down from last week, and it's trending very level, as you can see. The prior week's average days on market came to 61 days. That is a significant jump down from last week, trending moderately up right now. We expect this to continue trending moderately up through the winter. It'll probably peak in January and then start to move back down. How quickly it moves down from there probably depends more on interest rates than on anything else at this point. Last week's average list price came to $696,806. That's down from last week. This is trending moderately up, as I said, at about the same rate that this data set trended down during the first quarter of this year. Now, last week's average sold price came to $679,684. And so still we have a difference between average list, which is higher than average sold price. And the difference between those two comes again in the buyer's favor at $17,122 this last week. Importantly, median sold price last week came in at $524,900. That's down from the previous week, almost $200K lower than average price point. Good to know. Last week, the number of homes sold in Utah came to 505. That's down a jump from the previous week again. And this is trending moderately down, which we do expect as winter approaches. Currently under contract, same story, 4,820. That's up a little bit from last week, but this is also trending down as we expect seasonally. Last week, the number of price reductions we saw for homes on the market came to 1,425. That's down from the previous week, and this is trending very slightly down. Last week, the number of listing contracts that were either canceled, expired, or withdrawn from the MLS came to 446. That is up from the previous week, trending pretty darn level right now, as you can see. And finally, interest rates for a 30-year fixed conventional loan national average right now stands at 6.22%. That is the lowest we've seen it on a Monday this year. It did dip down into the 6.1s maybe a month ago during the week, and then jumped back up to where it was that week. But this is continuing its downward trend. And just look at interest rates as they trended throughout the beginning of the year. This is a chart from the first week of data this year to present. You can see how it came down, came back up, and then started a pretty significant trend down from the middle of the year to present. The Fed has stated an intention to continue dropping interest rates for the next near future. We'll see how quickly it comes down. I hope not too soon, because if it comes down too soon, our subdued demand will jump up. We really don't want that happening. It probably won't happen through winter. Supply and demand both tend to trend down through winter and then pick back up in the spring. I just hope, frankly, that interest rates aren't coming down too. I wouldn't want like 5.5% as spring starts. We'd get way too much demand, take big bites out of our inventory again. So as much as we like those low interest rates, our housing market's still trying to catch up to where most of us make money, and that would be healthier. And that's it for this week, guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about any of the data that I've got out here, hit me in the comments. I'm gonna be happy to respond. If you or anybody you know is looking to move here in Utah, especially in Utah County, Salt Lake County, or Davis County, I'm gonna be happy to help. I hope you're comfortable reaching out to me. My contact info is always in the video description. And if this is the kind of data that you wanna stay up on from week to week, especially as you're looking toward either a house purchase or sale or both, you'll make the best decisions with the best data. There's no better way than to hit that subscribe and stay up on it with me from week to week. Thanks for watching this week, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.